Hey guys, happy Saturday. I had a request yesterday to give a little bit of a tutorial on the eye makeup that I did yesterday, which is what you see here on the right side of my face. And I was like, absolutely, yeah, I'd love to do it. So it's raining, it's Saturday, I have nothing else to do at the moment. So I thought I would just pop on here and give you a quick tutorial on how to do this eye look. I would say it's kind of smoky, but really the emphasis is to bring focus to the outer corner of the eye, kind of make the eye appear bigger. And you can see that even though it's dark makeup, this eye definitely looks bigger than this eye. I have hooded eyes, I have crepey skin on my lids, so you really have to kind of finagle makeup to work for you when your eyes don't look like a YouTube model's eyes or influencer's eyes. So I just wanted to give you some tips and tricks on how to do that if you have eyes similar to mine, and if you're interested, just keep watching. So full disclosure, I'm in my bedroom sitting on a bucket using my phone. I am not high tech, this is not about being a professional Instagram or anything like that. It's just fun things to share with you, and hopefully the lesson comes across and you don't have to worry so much about what's going on back here. So anyway, I just had to share that because that's how I roll. Okay, so first step, I primed my eyes with the Fenty Beauty eye primer and just kind of let that sit. And then what I typically do is I go over it with a light shade. So I'm using this one in the palette here. It's just called Creme. This is the e.l.f. New Classics eyeshadow palette. This is the one I used yesterday. And I'll just lightly dust over my eye just to kind of set and prep that eye so that we can get some color laid out on it. Now, didn't obviously think this through. I did my right eye first because I'm right-handed and it's easier. So now I'm gonna do my left eye, and hopefully it will not take as long. So what we're wanting to do first is we're going to lay on a transition shade. I'm going to use the Scott Barnes brush. This is the number 62. Yes, 62. And I'm going to go in with the shade Truffle, which is this color right here. So this is the palette that I used yesterday, just for sake of ease and continuity, I guess you could say. Now what I'm going to do is, because my eyes are smaller, I have smaller hooded almond shaped eyes. It's like, how worse can it be? I guess it could be a lot worse, but what I'm going to do is I take the shade and I kind of create a faux extension. So I take the color and I kind of just pull it out almost parallel to my brow tip, just like that. It's very faint, you can't really see it, but that gives me a line that I can use to accentuate the shape of my eye, and then also provide a little bit more real estate down here. So if you're looking at me head on, you see that I don't have a lot of real estate on my movable lid. Most of my real estate is from my brow bone up. So I actually have to create that space because that is not naturally available to me. And this is the cool thing about hooded eyes, is that you can do that. It takes a little practice, but with time you'll be able to create that shape that you want. You just have to work at it and make the effort, take the time, but after a while it just becomes second nature. And it really does help with opening up the eye and you being able to play with more color. Because that was the thing originally when I was in my younger years. I didn't really play with makeup a whole lot because I just didn't have a lot of lid space. And so I learned this trick, and I'm so glad I did, because it really, really just helps with creating more dramaticism in the eye. Now I'm using a lot more color on this eye just to prove a point, because I want you to see how I'm doing this. So I'm taking the shade and I'm actually not going in my crease because my crease is a lot lower. I'm going on my brow bone. So I'm creating that section as my transition shade. So once I lay the color down, I just kind of wiggle it back and forth just to kind of move it around. I don't want to pull a lot of that dark color in the middle of my eye, because what we want to do is extend the eyes out this way. We don't want to close them in. So we're just kind of rubbing it back and forth on about 3/4 of the eye, just like that. I'm going to take that same shade, and now we're going to fill in what we call the outer V. Now I'm not pulling my lid because I don't want that, you know, weird shape to happen. I'm just holding it taut, because for those of you that are in that stage of life where I am, you know that it is not easy to put in color where your lids start to sag. So this brush, actually, I need a little bit more of a flat brush to go in there really well. So I'm going to take this IT Cosmetics brush here, going in with that same shade Truffle. Gosh, can you hear that wind? And I'm just going to kind of fill in this area here, because now we have the shape. We just now need to fill. And again, I'm doing this really, really dark because I want you guys to see where I'm laying this color. Just going on the outer V, making it dark, just like that. Now, take a blending brush. This should be a brush that you just use for blending purposes only. And we're going to blend around the edges of that just to soften it, and blend out towards the tip of the brow, out and up. I'm not going where the deepest color is, I'm just going around the edges, just like that, okay? Now you can blend all day long, and even if you feel like your color is patchy, you can go in with another light shade like the one I used all over the lid in the beginning, and you can just kind of buff around the edges like that as well, just to brighten it up a bit, if you feel so inclined, but you know, it's up to you. Okay, now we're going to go in with a darker shade. So I am going to use, it's kind of thicker fluffy brush. This is a Sephora Pro Airbrush Shadow number 30, and I'm gonna lay this on pretty dark just so you can see it, and I'm going in with the color Muse, which is this like deep purpley color here. It's really pretty, and I'm gonna load up the brush pretty good, just tap off a little bit, and I'm gonna go back in. So see how I laid the color? It's mainly on the outer corner, and then I'm pulling it up towards my brow. For me, for that eye shape, again, this is a great trick for hooded eyes. They call it the banana shape, and you kind of make it like a shape of a banana. So you can see it kind of goes up towards the brow. I like using this technique because it allows me to still get a lot of color shimmer payout in this area that is visible, because with hooded eyes it's kind of hard to see. So again, I'm just going to stabilize my lid, and I'm going to go out here on the outer third and into the inner part of my eye, just like that. And again, I'm making this dark to prove a point, because usually I don't go this dark, but I wanted you to see where I'm laying the color. So I'm packing it on pretty good right there. And then I'm going to take my blending brush, and I'm going to work that color around and out. For a very inexpensive palette, this e.l.f. New Classics it's pretty amazing, I do have to say. And not a whole lot of fallout either, which is also really nice. So we've got the color here, and we're just kind of moving it around. And this may take some time, and that's okay. You know, you want your makeup to look good. I have a mirror down here so I can actually gauge where the color is going. But you can start to see that I'm just moving a little bit of that darkness up this way in kind of the banana shape. Isn't that crazy how much it just like pulls the eye out? It's super cool. I'm gonna go back in with a little bit more truffle and work it up here a little bit and out. Just feather it out towards my brow, and then windshield wiper for blending. And when I blend, I tend to blend out this way, not down. Always out, because you don't want to, especially if you have more downturned eyes, you don't want to blend down. You want to keep that color up to give the illusion of a lifted lid. Okay, so then you want to check. So it's a little patchy over here, and that's okay. We can always add a little bit more. I'm going to go in with my bigger fluffy brush again, into truffle, and just kind of tap it in there, just to get a little bit more payout. And it's not the shadow, trust me, it's me. This is a really, really good palette, actually. This was like $16, I think it was. Okay, so now that we've got this kind of blended where we want it to be, I may go in back into truffle, which is that original transition shade, and just kind of blend over this again, mixing the colors up, giving a little bit more of a blend to it. And that's a fun thing, right? I'm not an artist on paper, but it's so much fun to just play with your eyes. Play with your face, paint your face. Okay, now we're gonna go in with some sparkles, some pretty sparkles. Now typically, when you're dealing with a shimmer, you sometimes have to get them wet in order to make them stick. But with this particular palette, I'm gonna use the LA Girl Pro Artistry palette. These shimmers, you don't have to wet them. I used, on this eye, I used Virtuoso, which is this kind of goldy color right here. And I can just take a dry brush and load it up and apply to the lid. And look at that, isn't that crazy? It's just like so pigmented, it's amazing. Now I will put it on this, try to keep it focused on the area where I didn't have any color or lay down any color yet, because I want to keep that area nice and bright and sparkly. But I gotta blend it in a little bit to the other color, and that's fine. But look at that payoff. It's like, what the crap? It's amazing. So I don't want a definitive line between the dark and the gold that you see here. So I am gonna take my blender brush, and I'm gonna go back in to truffle, and I'm just gonna ever so slightly blend those together. You want it to be a little bit diffused. You don't want a harsh line there. See how nice that looks? So pretty. It's crazy how that works. All right. Now we're gonna go back to into truffle, and I'm going to take a little bullet brush, and I'm going to go under my eye just to tie in this color here, this darker color, to the under eye. And again, using truffle. It looks lighter in the camera, but it's actually like a deep kind of plum. It's really pretty. And just connecting the colors there. And I'm only going about a little bit, maybe a little bit over halfway. I don't want to completely encapsulate my eye in a dark color, because we don't want to close our eyes off. We want to keep them nice and bright. And then I'm going to go in with this little IT Cosmetics brush and just buff it out just a little bit. Sometimes I'll even go in on the inner corners, and you know what, let's do that. Let's have some fun. I'll take that same color that I used on my lid for the shimmer, and I will apply that to the rest of my eye. So we're going to take that same brush, going in with Virtuoso, and we'll just start right about underneath my iris and work that into the rest of my eyeball. There's a little bit of just a little bit of sparkle. So pretty. It's really nice. And I got some shimmer down here. That's okay. We can always clean that up later on, but it just looks so pretty. Okay, So then the next step would be, you can highlight your brow. I find that as I've gotten older, I'm not really into highlighting my brow, but you can put a matte shade or a shimmer shade up there. If you're gonna highlight it, you may, just want to try and focus in this area, just where light captures, right? So wherever the point of your brow is, I like to just focus it there if I ever do it, just because I think it looks nice. Just a little touch of something, right? You don't want a whole face going on of different things and people don't know where to look at. So I'm using for my eyeliner, I'm using the NYX matte liquid liner. This one is awesome. I am not very good at doing wings, but this helps me a lot. And it's a good cheating one. It dries down matte, it dries down quickly. And with hooded eyes, if you guys know, having hooded eyes, it's such a pain in the butt to do a liquid liner because it just smooches up on to your lid. But this actually dries down pretty quickly. Now I usually start so far away in the middle of my eye and work my way out. I just find that the application is a lot easier to start in the middle of your eye, and then you can connect from the inner corner to the middle. Now I'm doing this kind of far away because I want you to see. I have a mirror down here, but if I look down, you really can't see what I'm doing. So this may not be the most perfect application for me, but just so you know, this is why I'm doing it. Now again, I'm going to pull my skin, not taut, I'm just going to stabilize it, and I'm going to connect that liner to the edge of my color, and then go down and meet the corner of my eye, like so. Okay. Now also keep in mind, you really can get these pretty darn even Steven, but your eyes are, you probably heard that saying, sisters, not twins. So if it's not absolutely perfect, whatever, just practice. You'll get good at it eventually. But I like to, again, angle it up towards the corner of my brow, just so I have that illusion of a lift, and what a difference it makes. So there you guys have it. This is my kind of smoky eye tutorial. I just really enjoy doing makeup. I love that you guys respond and comment and ask me to do more. And as I continue on my education, I'll probably be adding more stuff that's exciting, more techniques. So if you liked this, please leave me a comment if you have any other suggestions for those of you that might be a little bit more well-versed in makeup than I am. I am so open to it. If you have any other ideas of what you would like to see me do, I do have a peel coming up, a chemical peel that I'm going to be doing on my face in the next couple of weeks. I can showcase that as well. I did a little bit of one about a month ago, but I want to film it in its entirety just so you guys can see what it's like. But yeah, let me know what you think of this look. If there's something else you want to see, let me know. Have a good day, guys.